presentation of AIT.
I'm unstoppable. Do you believe this guy? Hey, I'm on a roll. And you just ran into a rock. Now watch a master at work.
Sometimes it's hard to believe these two are best buddies.
What do you mean?
Well, you don't always talk too gently to each other.
Oh, we're just kidding around. We know what we mean.
I think what he means is these guys have been friends a long time. They understand each other. They feel comfortable talking together. But making new friends and being comfortable, being able to talk, well, let me tell you, that's a different story. It doesn't always come just like that. Thanks.
No problem.
You must be new here. I'm Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Rebecca. This is Dara, and I'm her mother, Marta.
Hi, nice to meet you both. Let me introduce you to some of the guys. This is Devin, and this is Mark.
We just moved from out of state, and Dara thought she might like to try the after-school program.
It was your idea, Mom.
Well, I think you're going to have a good time here, Dara. Let me introduce you to some of the other regulars. Kezia, Iris, there's someone here I want you to meet. Dara, this is Kezia, and this is Iris. Gals, this is Dara. She's new here.
Hi. Hi. I know you. You're in my class.
Well, great. Will you show Dara around?
Sure. Come on, Dara. Thanks, but that's okay. I can look around myself. I'm okay, Mom. I'll be all right.
I'm sorry. She's been this way since we moved here over a month ago. I just don't understand.
I bet she's lonely.
Well, I'm sure she is, Kezia, but I don't understand why she doesn't try harder to make new friends. Why didn't she go with you two?
She must be shy.
Well, she wasn't back home. She had lots of friends.
Yeah, but moving to a new place where you don't know anybody, that's tough.
I moved here in 2nd grade, and I was lonely for a long time.
I felt lonely when my sister moved to college. I feel lonely when I'm not with my friends.
Well, how does that feel, being lonely?
Bad.
How about you? What do you feel like when you're lonely?
When I'm lonely, I feel sort of jealous of people I see who are friends. Being lonely makes me sad. Then I just want to hang around in my room. I feel tired when I'm lonely, like I just don't have any energy. You know, when I'm lonely, I feel hollow inside. It's awful.
Sound familiar?
So what are we going to do about Dara?
We'll figure out something. Yep. Don't worry, we'll take care of her.
Go for it.
Thanks, guys. I'll just come back later.
Okay, Mark, go.
Huh?
Go talk to her.
Why me?
You moved, you were lonely, so go tell her about it.
You never know, she just might benefit from your experience.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Mark.
I know.
You do?
You're best friends with Devin, like Kezia's best friends with Iris.
How did you know all this stuff?
I've got eyes. What's so funny?
Oh, I used to do the same thing after I first moved here. You know, look at everybody and see who was friends with who. It was part of being lonely.
I didn't say I was lonely. You used to be new here?
Yep.
How did you get to know people?
Well, it was hard. Just a minute. Hey, Rebecca, could you read this to us?
Oh, good idea. Because this is a book about how one kid makes friends with another. Hey, anybody want to hear a story? I'm going to read a book over here.
Sure. Okay.
This is Be Good to Eddie Lee by Virginia Fleming. Christy glided back and forth in the porch swing, letting her legs dangle. Now that summer was here, she didn't know what to do with it. She grabbed a leaf from a trumpet vine. Across the street, Eddie Lee was sitting on his front porch steps eating a popsicle. Now I'll be bothered with him following me around all summer, she thought. Her mama said she had to be good to Eddie Lee, just because he was lonesome, just because nobody else paid him any mind, just because he was different. Her mama said God made him that way. But Christy thought just once her mama was wrong, because God didn't make mistakes, and Eddie Lee was a mistake if ever there was one. In the next yard up, she could see Jim Bud. "Hello, Christy." "Hello, Jim Bud," she said. "Whew, it's hot," he said, took off his sneakers. "Warm enough to go wading. Want to go with me? I know where there's frogs' eggs." Christy nodded. They hid their shoes under the pyracantha bush and started down the street. As they passed Eddie Lee's house, he called eagerly, "Hello, Christy. Hello, Jim Bud." Jim Bud tugged at her arm. "Come on, don't stop to talk with that dummy." Jim Bud ignored him, so Christy said, "Eddie Lee, you'd better stay home." He didn't say anything. He just looked hurt. Jim Bud whirled around and stamped his foot. "Get, Eddie Lee, get home." Eddie Lee grinned. "I'm not a dog, Jim Bud." "Then stop following us like one." Eddie Lee turned around and walked toward his house, head down. "You didn't have to hurt his feelings, Jim Bud. Mama says I have to be good to Eddie Lee." They had to go through the woods to reach the lake. "What's that?" Christy asked. "There goes a fish," he yelled. "I don't see any frog eggs," Christy said. "Oh, they probably already hatched." Suddenly, a strange shuffling came from the bushes near the trail. "What was that?" Jim Bud looked scared. "I don't know." They moved closer to one another and listened. Thump, thump. "Sounds like a monster," Jim Bud whispered. The bushes parted and the monster came clopping down the trail. It was Eddie Lee. "What are you doing here?" Jim Bud screamed. Eddie Lee just sat down on the bank and looked at them. "I still don't see any frog eggs," Christy complained as they waded along the edge of the lake. "Come on, Christy." Eddie Lee took her hand and pulled. "Where?" "Come on, I'll show you." She left Jim Bud sitting on the bank and followed Eddie Lee, who was now waddling into the woods. "Here it is," he smiled proudly. There was a wide opening in the trail, and right there in the woods was a miniature lake. Floating on the surface of the pond were a myriad of pink and white lilies. In all the times Christy had come to the woods, she had never seen this pond. "Come on, Christy, I'll show you." He reached for her hand and pulled her with him as he trailed along the little pond to the far end. "Look," he shouted and pointed to the still sun-warmed water. There, clusters of frog eggs were settled on the bottom of the mud, large cloud-like jelly masses polka-dotted with tiny tadpoles not ready to hatch. "Frog eggs! Oh, Eddie Lee, you're a genius. You found water lilies and frog eggs." "We have to find something to put them in," Christy said. Eddie Lee's almond eyes slid together and his forehead folded to a frown. "No, no," he said. "If we take them home, they will die." "Mama frog, Christy, Mama frog." He couldn't get the rest out. "We'll be sad," Christy finished. "I never thought of that." "Well, Eddie Lee, let's go pick a lily for Mama anyway." Just as they got down on their knees to reach for the lilies, there was a plop in the water. Christy's face in the water mirror was distorted by the ripples. She put her hands to her cheeks to hide the crooked image. "That's okay, Christy," he said. "I like you anyway." He grinned his wide grin and put his right hand over his heart. "It's what's here that counts."
Nice story.
So, what did you think of how Eddie Lee made friends with Christy?
He was pretty smart.
How do you mean, Dara?
Well, he wasn't all caught up in himself. He was thinking of Christy and what she would like.
Not only that, he didn't let himself get discouraged, even when that other boy was being mean.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have blamed him if he'd gone home and just shut himself up in his room.
I used to do that when we first moved here.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'd lie on my bed and make up dumb stories in my head. All of a sudden, I was the most popular guy in town. Where'd everybody go? Well, that's how they were. And that's how that one ended.
Nice fantasy.
Thanks. You know, they didn't really help me make friends, though.
I do that.
What, Dara?
You know, hang out in my room a lot, alone. I guess I should be doing something else like reading or working on a hobby or something.
That kind of thing can help when you're lonely.
Yeah, but solitude, spending time alone, that can be great sometimes.
But I do the kind of thing Mark did. You know, make up stories about being back at home or having lots of friends.
Well, there's nothing wrong with daydreaming either, Dara, as long as your daydreams don't take the place of real-life experiences.
I guess I've been letting that happen. It's just so hard to know how to make friends.
Any thoughts, guys?
Maybe we ought to try the acting out thing.
Yeah, it's worked before.
Okay. Dara, sometimes we do this to help find solutions. It's like pretending.
Right. Pretend Keith and I are talking and you want to make friends with us.
I don't know.
Come on, give it a try.
Well, okay.
So, do you want to play jump rope?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of
Hi,
tired
my name's Dara, and I like... What?
Well,
You kind of interrupted.
What Kezia means is, it might be better to listen to what they're saying and wait for a break. It's friendlier.
Okay, got it.
so anyway, I'm kind of tired of playing the same old jump rope games with you.
Oh.
Hi, my name's Dara, and I'm new, and I like to read. Do you?
Whoa, time out. I don't know, Dara. You don't know these girls, right? So you can't be sure they'll be interested in reading, even if you like it. Maybe you ought to go for a topic that's more of a sure thing.
Yeah, like remember what you said about the book. When Eddie Lee figured out what Christy was interested in.
I can do that.
So, if you don't like the jump rope games we've been playing, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Hi, my name's Dara, and I think I know some jump rope games you might like.
You do?
Really?
Yeah, ever heard of Double Dutch?
No, what is it?
Show us.
Hi, I'm Kezia.
And I'm Iris.
Like that?
That's the way. Dara chose a good time to talk, and she focused on something other people were interested in. These are just some of the ways you can begin to break the ice.
But it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not. You have to bear in mind that friendships take time to develop, and starting a conversation is just the first step.
But it's a good one.
We moved to a new town. I left my old friends behind. Now I'm so lonesome. I'm going